Well, welcome back my gardening friends to an end of July plot tour. This is plot 1, hashtag starting a new allotment. You can see this in my playlists. And we've done a bit of moving about. This is some of the old timber that we've got, and I've restacked the timber that we found on the back of that truck, which I've removed all the nails. And we've had a tidy up at the edge of the plot. I tend to do this to stop all the twitch and rubbish growing through, but that doesn't stop the raspberries from getting somewhere where I can't get them now. Well, July has been a very trying month for us in the UK as well as everybody else around the world. July records were broken for the highest temperatures, and it's battered everything. And then we get a load of rain directly after that, approximately 4 inches, 100 millimeters in 2 days. A little bit more round guttering. These round posts, I'm going to trim them because we've got 1 or 2 posts now that aren't the best. That one's okay, but there's 1 or 2 about. We've got some more bits of wood, and even some felt nails, so they only got used once. Wasn't going to let them be thrown away. In these bags are wood chips that we took out the paths, which you'll see in the plot 3 end of July tour. And we had another compost find. This is the compost that we sorted, that you saw in one of the last videos. Got several bags there, and then this is some new. Again, it's got perlite in. I am not sorting that because I've just got no room for it. Let's crawl across here. All this bed was sorted out, and we're still getting runners. Bless it. They do like to keep growing. Potatoes, nicely looking healthy without too many signs of blight, keeping a close eye on those. A lot of it now is dieback, but what we don't want to do is get miss the dieback and it actually being blight. That will make all the difference to the crop when we do harvest them. Water butts overflowing. Potatoes absolutely saturated. But again, spreading everything out has stopped the blight. Massive sinkage on the leaf mould. They've enjoyed this drop of rain. More fish poo ready to go in. In the middle there, another drum which is taking that, overflowing. And this is the rain we've had. And I've measured the one on this plot as well as this one at 4 inches. The comfrey's not being touched now. We're going to let the bees have a whale of a time, and all the other creatures that are enjoying it. While we're having the dry weather, I saved the dry wood chips ready for sieving, so that I can sieve some of my leaf mould, so I can make my own seed mix. And you can see there, it's absolutely soaked the water up. I'm going to pull this down now because Monday, the 29th of July, Tuesday, horrific thunderstorms and heavy rain, which could cause flooding. Wow. Again, the signs of blight on the sunflowers, they just haven't liked it at all. They're looking okay. Oh dear, what a shame. Looks like my one and maybe only plum. Oh yes, did have two. They've gone. never mind. And because of blight, I've opened this up, so we've pushed some of these wildflowers out the way to give full air circulation. Sweet peas going to seed. Let's see if I can get this. Not very well. It's not looking very good at the moment, but the bees and wildlife are loving the wildflower garden. Lots of seeds to shake out. And the hollyhocks. There's a flower that I know. And because this is open to the rain, 4 inches of rain, and we've actually now got 120 litres of liquid out of this bin. I've already used 10, so that's 130 litres in total. Because of the weather, I've done no more cutting of the scaffold planks ready for the raised beds for plot 3. The yellow raspberries have been absolutely prolific, and we've got some new growth coming down from the bottom there. We're in a bit of a mess. I've tidied the rhubarb up, and in doing so now it's all flopped over, so I'm going to do the same as Jim at Jim's allotment. He was one of the first ones that, well, he was my first subscriber, and actually build a bed round this 2 scaffold planks high to hold the leaves up. And I'm not sure whether these rhubarb leaves will last till Malvern. I need 3 heavy sticks. I've now given up with the strawberry tower with built-in wormery. It definitely needs a rethink, and juices there are still flowing. Again, plenty of air circulation around these trailing tomatoes. These are my safe seed, and they're looking remarkably healthy considering the weather. Again, this one is going to be removed completely. Plenty of seed pods there to fall on the floor for the mice to replant for me. We do work well together. Last year's cuttings, I'll be having a look at those after 12 months, which will be this autumn. Again, plenty of air circulation around the tomatoes. These have grew a little bit now, so I need to knock those back very carefully. There we go. And this apple tree I saved. Looking nice. Get a few apples off that. Bees will still love that one, even though I wasn't very polite with it. The asparagus, bar gum, keeping those little grubs to bay was very difficult. But as you can see, it's looking really lush in places. Notice this dieback on this one, but I think it's broke off at the bottom with all the winds and the rain that we've had on it. And the asparagus beetle has been at it again, so no doubt there'll be some more little grubs to find now they've laid eggs on it, but it could have been completely stripped. That's what you've got to watch out for. Sunflowers, I'll have to do the sunflower challenge soon, because I haven't got anything that's oops, what's this? Looks like the heart's gone rotten. Again, we're training the grapevine out here. Bargum. It does take some looking after. And I believe now this grape is a different variety. I'm hoping it's a green variety, and I'll be taking some cuttings from this. It's just slightly gone out of focus there. Some of the tomatoes have got the blossom end rot, some haven't. Now the trailing tomatoes we saw earlier, they're my saved seed, the second year. And these are my saved seed from the tomatoes that we get from the supermarket. They've come good again. Just waiting for them to get ripe, I suppose. Well, we'll just move into the greenhouse if we can. Remember the potato we potted on because it hadn't grew properly? It died. Good day. A gigantimo there. I have taken some of these grapes off, but they do look totally different to the Boskoop Glories. Plenty of shade in here with the pomegranate growing really well. I'm hoping it'll fruit next year, else it's pruning off at the bottom. Remember the compost find with the lovely cocoa koi? I ended up getting 90 litres, 100 litres in these bags. They're full to the top. 75 litre bags, 80 litres. And because we ate the potatoes for the overwintering, for the Christmas Day potatoes, still haven't found any yet, so they'll have to wait. This is the volunteer, my first volunteer tomato in the grow room, and it's got blossom end rot. Never mind. There's the cherry again. This is a plum tomato. Looks nothing like a plum tomato. We'll wait and see. That again was saved from the food that somebody sent me, and we've got 2 tomatoes in this one. I do need to get in and do a little bit of work to that. Let's get out the greenhouse. Weed as you go. I'll replace this tomato. It decided to flop over now. It's had no support. And again, another one with blossom end rot. So there's some with blossom end rot. I'm not going to do anything with them because all the compost's the same. I just want to see why some do get blossom end rot and some don't. We know how to cure it. And my dahlias, they've had a really good showing, and these will be planted in the ground and covered over. These are the poppies that this poppy seed head fell into the wife's hand on a walk. This drum holds the liquid plant food mix. This one holds the liquid from the compost bin runoff wormery. And again, I've been putting rhubarb leaves in and everything, so we've got nearly 70 litres this year already. The compost bin is overheating a little bit, and you can see there that the worms do migrate. I say this was right full. You can see where it's been full, and it just compacts down nicely. It just needs a few more bits of cardboard and then a few browns just to soak that up, but I'm mainly after the liquid. This is some more of the spent compost. There must be over 1,000 litres in this one. Again, you can see the perlite in it, and I'm trying to save everything I can now, ready for my raised beds. This is one of the old plum trees, well, one of the first ones, and we've still got some on there. I did notice that we'd got one on the floor. Let's say the wind, the rain, thunderstorms, we've had it all. Yay! I've got a conference pear still on. Don't touch it. But this is looking reasonably healthy. It's 1 or 2 leaves, got a little bit of rust on them. Nip those off. And like I said, as I'm walking around, just pull the weeds out. Because they're in that compost, they just pull out really easy. And this was within the wildflower mix. It's everywhere now, and I'm struggling to keep on top of it. So if you ever see this, yes, it looks pretty, but those little runner roots, they get everywhere, and the birds and mice must drag it everywhere. So some good and some bad with the wildflower mixes that you can get. I know we've spoken a lot about wood chips, and things don't always grow very well in them, but the strawberry plants absolutely love it. It's going to make it difficult to get the raspberries, but we can tread on them, it won't hurt. Weed as we go. This blackberry bush is going to say, no, please don't dig me out. Excuse me. Never look at the fruit that you put in your mouth, just in case there's anything on there that might make you a little bit squeamish. One of my viewers mentioned about using all the roots from the cannabis compost that I find, put it into a bin, and maybe add some manure concentrate into it to help it break down. Then I can use the liquid to feed the plants. So that's another tub to go in here, and we'll get some manure into it at a later date. So I'm just taking this opportunity on Monday the 29th of July just to do an update. I'm not going to do a vegetable harvest this time because we've harvested most of the stuff while the weather was good. So, hope you've enjoyed this little tour to see what's going on, what I've been collecting, recycle, reuse, repurpose, upcycle. There's going to be more than that, enough of that that you'll be seeing over this winter. And maybe I'll do a tour one day showing you what I've bought and what I haven't bought, and how we've repurposed it, where we've got it from. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ra for now.